Hello everyone. In this section of our lecture, we'll study about drugs and alcohol abuse. Surveys and statistics shows that use of drugs and alcohol has been on rise, especially among the youth. This is really a cause of concern as it would result in many harmful effects. Proper education and guidance would enable youth to safeguard themselves against these dangerous behavior patterns and follow healthy lifestyles. So, first of all, this section of information it includes the information regarding the drugs, use and abuse of drugs, what are the common features of the drugs abused by the addicts, information regarding the different types of drugs, their uses, misuses, their social effect, their effect on the individual and on their family life. So let's begin our topic with the information containing the very first topic, that is drug. So drugs are basically the substance which is used in prevention, diagnosis, alleviation, treatment or cure of a disease in man and animals. A drug may be defined as a chemical which when taken in some way alters the body functions for the benefit of the person. Drug is also known as medicine and it is of therapeutic importance in the medical science. That's why it is also known as therapeutic agent. So why drugs they become addictive and they are known as addictive drugs? An addictive drug or habit forming drug is a substance that modifies the biological, psychological or social behavior of a person by stimulating, depressing or distorting the functions of the body and the mind. Then we need to define in this reference what is addiction. So addiction is the basic habitual psychological dependence on a substance, or it can be described as a practice which is beyond voluntary control of the individual. A person who is habituated to a substance or a practice especially is harmful for that individual and that individual is known as an addict. So use and abuse of drugs can be categorized based on the type of prescriptions and the need which body needs. So taking a drug for a medical purpose to treat body's disorder or injury is known as its use. Intake of a drug for a non-medical purpose or in amount, strength, manner or frequency that impairs physical and mental functions is basically known as abuse. So basically abuse is the non-medical purpose use by the individuals. It is basically a wrong, improper or injurious or misuse of the particular chemical or a substance which a drug abuser it intakes in any of the form. The term abuse with respect to drugs implies three aspects, that is non-prescribed use or its non-medical use and use for having pleasure. So the basic common features of drugs abused by addicts are they are used without the physician's prescription. They are to be taken frequently or regularly by the user or abuser. They are basically habit making substances. Mostly they affect the brain and alter consciousness, perception and behavioral pattern of the individual. They give temporary pleasure to the individual. They are often obtained and taken secretly. So these are some of the common features which drug abusers they have, and why the addiction it happens in case of the drug abusers. So why some of the individuals they become drug dependent? There are certain drugs which are prescribed by the physician for the prevention or treatment of the disease or for increasing the physical or mental performance, and are withdrawn as soon as the desired effect is achieved. So repeated use of certain drugs on a periodic or continuous basis may make the body dependent on them. This is called drug dependency, and the term drug dependence is nowadays preferred to as drug addiction or drug habituation, which is the term coined by the World Health Organization in the year 1964. Some of the people they start taking drug without medical advice due to one or many other reasons and become drug dependent. So basically what are the implications which these drug abusers they have? The regular almost daily intake of the drug due to craving, it happens. Development of the tolerance to the drug and appearance of the withdrawal symptoms on leaving its intake. Inability to decrease the use of the drug. Continuation of the drug intake in spite of its harmful effects. Ignoring others' life activities and interests. So these are the basic implications which drug dependency have on the individuals. So a drug dependent may also show one or more few of these features, they may be psychologically dependent on over the drugs, or their physiological dependency may be over those drugs. So what are the stages which leads to drug dependency among the youths? Most of the individuals they try most of the drugs basically on experimental basis. They first takes drugs for their curiosity, then recreational use may also develop in them. They start using the drug for the so-called pleasure. Situational use, after this he joins the company of the drug abusers and begins to take drug more often. Or compulsive use, because of the peer group pressure or the company, the individuals or the youths they are having. Dependency, finally he becomes habitual to the drug use and cannot leave it. His daily dose to get the desired effects increases with time. So what are the early warning signs and drug dependencies? Parents and physicians should carefully note what are the early symptoms or early changes which is to be noticeable in the individuals, like their academic deterioration. They can see in their individual or their wards or their kids, which indicate by their poor performance in their class or examination, evasion from the or escaping from the family functions or duties or responsibilities, change in the behavior such as telling lies, violence, moodiness, frequent mood change behaviors, etc. Physical changes such as red eyes, decreased appetite, vigor and weight, etc. may also are the indicators of symptoms. Quick changes in the personality and friend circle. Legal problems such as arrest by the police, etc. may often occur in some of the severe cases. So factors that affect the drug action are basically the drug taken and its form, that is either it could be crude form or purified form, the dose or the quantity in which it is being consumed. The route of taking of the drug may be oral, intramuscular or intravenous injection, drinking or smoking, period for which the drug is being consumed, and drug abuser susceptibility. So based on the type of habituation the individual is developing, the drugs can be classified into two basic categories. These are the psychotropic drugs and the psychedelic drugs. So these drugs basically act on when we talk about the classification of the psychotropic drugs, these can be the category of drugs or belongings of the drugs in which the drugs directly acts on the brain and alter the behavior, consciousness and capacity of the perception. Hence these are also known as mood altering drugs. So their repeated use makes the body habitual or dependent on them. The psychotropic drugs are basically classified into four major groups. These are tranquilizers, sedatives or hypnotics, opiate, narcotics, and stimulants or hallucinogens. So let's take one by one each of the categories. So first of all, we are taking the tranquilizers. So the tranquilizers lessens the tension and anxiety, and they promote calmness and soothing without sedating or depressant effect, and do not induce sleep. So what are the examples for these tranquilizers? So we have basically the two categories. One is phenothiazines. These are antipsychotic drugs. In a psychotic patient, they decrease aggressiveness, remove anxiety, and normalize the thought and behavior. Phenothiazine is a parent compound for which the synthesis of several antipsychotic drugs are being derived. So the common examples are chloromazine, thiorodiazine, reserpine. Reserpine is basically being extracted from one of the plant species, that is Rauwolfia serpentina. And the next category is benzodiazepines. These are anti-anxiety drugs. So anxiety is a disturbance of mind which basically involve the restlessness, tension, worry of some of the uncertain event, apprehensions of fear and danger. A certain degree of anxiety is a normal phenomenon in life. However, frequent and excessive anxiety need treatment with benzodiazepines. The latter have gained popularity over the barbiturates described in the later section of this lecture. Because of more effectiveness, almost no side effects and mild withdrawal symptoms are being noticeable in benzodiazepines. So benzodiazepines is a parent compound for the synthesis of many anti-anxiety drugs such as diazepam, which includes Valium, Campos, oxazepam, chlorozepam, etc. So diazepam is a hypnotic or sleep-inducing anti-anxiety and anti-convulsant agent. Oxazepam is basically anti-anxiety drug, and chlorozepam is a anti-convulsant drug. Let's check the next section of the drugs, which includes sedatives and hypnotics. So sedatives are basically the depressors or switch off drugs which switch off the activities of the central nervous system. They reduce the excitement, osage pain, and give a feeling of calmness, relaxation, or drowsiness. So higher doses of these sedatives, they induces deep sleep. The sleeping inducing drugs are also known as hypnotics. So example for these are barbiturates and benzodiazepines. Next category of drugs are opioid narcotics. They are basically classified into three categories: natural opiates, semi-synthetic opiates, and synthetic opiates. So one of the natural opiate is being shown here in the form of the flower, that is opium poppy, or also known as Papaver somniferum. You can see the flower, which is very beautifully being shown here in this picture. Actually, the drug is being taken out from the fruit, which is being shown here in a disc like structure form, and the unripe fruits are being cut and the resin is being executed or extracted from the plant, and that is basically the opium which is being used as a drug. So most of the opiate narcotic drugs, they have medical use. They suppresses the brain activity and relieve pain. They are popularly known as painkillers and also known as sedatives and astringent effect. And estrogen is basically causing the contraction of tissues, arrest of the secretion, and controlling of the bleeding. So opiate narcotics are also used for cough relief, for the treatment of vomiting and diarrhea. Examples include basically the opiates or opioids. They include opium, which are other categorized into the certain semi-synthetic compounds like heroin, which is chemically known as diacetylmorphine, and another category is smack, that is given in your book. And synthetic opiates includes pethidine, that is mopidine, and methadone. So these are the some of important narcotic drugs. Let's talk about the natural stimulants, um, which is categorized into the two categories, that is natural stimulants and synthetic stimulants. So natural stimulants include caffeine, cocaine, crack, betel nut. See, these stimulants, they temporarily stimulates the nervous system, makes a person more wakeful, alert, and active, and cause excitement. The stimulants do not cause physical dependency because no withdrawal symptoms appear. Psychological dependency is very likely to occur as withdrawal causes depression, anxiety, and restlessness. The stimulants include caffeine, cocaine, crack, betel nut, and amphetamines. So I have collected some of the pictures of the stimulants. See, the first picture is of tea plant, that is Thea sinensis, which is the basic source for caffeine. Uh, it is a vegetable alkaloid which is obtained from the dried leaves of the tea plant, which is the Thea sinensis of family Theaceae. So next picture is of coffee plant, which is biologically known as coffee arabica of family Rubiaceae. It basically the drugs is being extracted from the seeds, dried seeds of this berries. The next segment of stimulant is cocoa. You can see the fruits of this cocoa plant here. It is Theobroma cocoa of family Sterculiaceae, which is also used for extracting the natural stimulant. So persons, they are using this as a natural drink in the form of beverages. So most of the caffeine, they are being used in medicines as cardiac and respiratory stimulants. So they increase the alertness and thought, they increase the metabolic rate of the neurons, it improves the performance and removes the boredom. The higher dose basically causes nervousness, restlessness, and insomnia. Excessive intake of caffeine causes addiction. So there is one medical use of caffeine also. It is used in cardiac treatment. And one of the important information what I would like to mention here is that if a person is taking at approximately 20 cups of coffee in a day, it can be fatal for the individual. Excessive use of coffee is harmful. It may cause anxiety, irritability, diarrhea. Regular, or you can say regular use may cause irregular heartbeat, decrease concentration. It can also cause indigestion, disturbs pancreatic and renal function. If taken empty stomach, it can cause stomach ulcers also. And some of the withdrawal symptoms are headache and disturbed sleeps, letharginess. So these are the basic symptoms, withdrawal symptoms of these psychotropic drugs. Let's check about the next category of drug, that is the hallucinogens, which are also known as psychedelic drugs. I have collected one of the picture of this psychedelic drug, which include the natural stimulant or hallucinogens, that is the hemp plant, or you can see the cannabis, which is commonly known as bhang plant. So most of the psychedelic drugs, they are being classified into natural and synthetic form. So naturally they are classified as LSD, that is lysergic acid diethylamide, and mescaline, psilocybin, hemp product, that is hemp, patsan is we know the term in Hindi is patsan basically. And synthetic hallucinogens include PCP. The full form for this is phenyl psilidine piperidine, and MDMA, that is methyl lenin dioxide, methylamphetamine. So most of the hallucinogens, basically what they do, they act on the central nervous system and greatly alters one's thought, feelings and perception. They are also known as scheduled drugs because they manifest, they cause optical or auditory hallucinations, that is illusions, apparent perception of external objects or sounds not actually present. The illusions may be pleasant or unpleasant. The hallucinogens are also known as vision producing drugs. So these are the categories of the drugs which people they are taking. See, one of the natural hallucinogen which I want to discuss here is LSD, that is lysergic acid, which is extracted from the, see, I have taken a picture of the Claviceps purpurea, which is the ergot fungus in the wheat plant. You can see the black color structure of the seeds are due to the growth of the Claviceps purpurea, which is a fungus. So LSD is a crystalline amidated alkaloid obtained from the dried fruiting body, that is sclerotium, of the ergot fungus. This parasite is Ascomycetes fungus. This you have already studied in class 11th, where classification of fungus it is being given there. So there are different types of categories of the fungus. So pathogen is basically grasses, so wheat is also there, and it is commonly known as race smut. It was synthesized by Hoffman in the year 1938. So mode of abuse of LSD is it is being smoked by the addicts. So what effect it is having on the individuals? LSD is causing nightmares, horrible dreams, hallucination, floating sensation, chronic psychosis and severe damage to the central nervous system. It may cause unconsciousness and even death. LSD also brings about the chromosomal and fetal abnormalities. If someone is conceiving, some lady is conceiving the fetus and she is being abusing LSD. So the pathological conditions caused by LSD abuse or by eating grain affected by ergot is known as ergotism. An LSD dependent person can be readily identified by incoherence in writing. So what is the medical use of LSD, that is lysergic acid? It is used to induce the contractions of the involuntary uterine muscles for checking the hemorrhage and to alleviate the migraine. See, now check the next section of information. So now let's see what is the mechanism of drug action, how these drugs they are being used and misused, and they have the functioning over our nervous system. So our brain basically it controls all the human activities and behavioral responses, and nearly all drugs acts on the brain to modify its behavior. So whenever a drug is being taken out, the drugs they carry out the brain um, by the blood system, that is the circulatory system. So therefore the faster the drug enters the blood, the more quickly it produces its effect. The structural and functional unit is basically the nervous system, that is the neurons. So neurons occurs in chains leaving tiny gaps, that is the synaptic cleft between them. So such a close approximation of these two adjacent neurons is known as synapse. So you have already studied about the nervous system, that is the type of neurons, myelinated, non-myelinated, and how they conduct their information via different chemical transmitters. So basically we are talking about the transmission of the nerve impulse at a synapse. So how the chemical messages they are being transferred from one neuron to another neuron, and how these drugs they are being effective to transmit these informations and make such hallucinations, or you can say the way the different type of psychotic behavior in the persons for which they are being using these drugs. So arrival of the nerve impulse at the synaptic node of an axon, it causes the release of a chemical termed as neurotransmitter into the synaptic cleft by exocytosis through the presynaptic membrane, that is the membrane of axon terminal. A common neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. The neurotransmitter diffuses across the synaptic cleft and binds to the postsynaptic membrane, that is the membrane of a dendrite of a next neuron. The postsynaptic membrane sets up a fresh nerve impulse that passes along the new neuron. So an enzyme known as acetylcholinease inactivates the acetylcholine to stop the repeated stimulation of the dendron. So drug act as a synapses. So the depressant drugs, that is the either it could be alcohol, narcotics, or barbiturates, may inhibit the production of neurotransmitters, and they cause inactivation of the neurotransmitters more quickly than the normal or any modified postsynaptic membrane, so that it is not being affected by the neurotransmitters in either case of transmission of the nerve impulse. So this is the basic reason how the nerves they get slower down in transmitting the information. So the stimulants, either the caffeine or amphetamines, may increase the production of the neurotransmitters or mimic the action of the neurotransmitter. So these are basically the substances which act as a, or you can say they probably replaces the functioning of the common neurotransmitters, which are the basic neurotransmitters or natural neurotransmitters. So this increases the stimulation of the neurons. Let's check the effect of drug addiction on the addicts, their family, and on their society. So let's talk about the effect of drug addiction on the individual itself. See, most of the drugs they affect the central nervous system of the individual, by which if individual is prolonging or increasing the duration, that is the prolonged use of these drugs is permanently damaging their CNS, that is central nervous system. So this is followed by the damage of other organ also, and the addicts become victim of various diseases including psychosis, hepatitis B, even AIDS. These are the common diseases which drug addicts they may have, because they are more frequently using the contaminated needles to inject the drugs. The drug addicts usually have a dull, unhappy life. They are psychologically maladjusted and suffers from insecurity. They may be arrested in most of the illegal professions. may die of overdose due to infected needles. So, prolonged use of habituating drugs may cause impotency, chromosomal abnormalities, and defective offspring. So, what effect is having on the family of the individual? So, the drug addicts create problem for their families. Basically, they neglect their duties and basic. You can say the basic nature of job what with respect to their family members or to the society. This may deprive the family basic needs. Frustration and insecurity in the children are the heavy price paid for the drug abusers. So, both the spouses and children of the drug dependent persons may have a high incidence and a wide range of physical and psychiatric problems. These might include headaches, minor gastrointestinal disorder, anxieties, insomnia, depression, etc. And what effect is the individual is creating on the society? So most of the drug abusers, they get drugs from illegal means or illegal sources, thereby encouraging smuggling, trafficking, and industrial accidents. They commit crimes. Drug addiction is increasing among young people all over the world in spite of great emphasis. So alcoholists or smokers, they emit smell. They don't. Their behavioral pattern is different, so they don't know what is wrong and right. So how do this drug addiction it begins? This is the basic question. So this section of question I have already answered in the previous portion of this lecture, but still I just want to make it clear for you people that most of the drug addiction it begins with the curiosity. So frequent references to the drugs by the public media, that is newspaper, radio, and television, it creates curiosity among the youth for their personal experience. So their friends pressure, frequent appreciation of the drug experience by their friends, they tell you how to start the use of these drugs. Pleasure, certain persons take drugs to have fun and pleasure and to escape from the boredom. Frustration and depression, some people start taking drugs to get relief from the frustration and depression. Desire for more work, students sometimes take drugs to keep awake whole night or to prepare for the examination. It is not at all desirable and it may cause mental breakdown to them, so it is totally harmful for them. Looking for a different world, a wrong notion that drugs open up a new world tempts some of the youngsters to start taking drugs. Relief from the pain, a prolonged use of pain relieving drugs may with the advice of the physicians, and afterwards when they stop, so persons they continue to use that, they become addicted to those particular drugs. Family history, children may take drugs by simply seeing their elders in the family they are doing so they also follow the same type of mechanism. And indifference shown by the members of the family also makes children to start drug use. Excitement and adventure, the young takes drug to satisfy their instinct for excitement, freedom, and adventure. And easy availability of the drugs comes handy for the people to start using drugs. Difficulty in obtaining a drug may be deter them for, or they may stop these activities to be experimented on these substances. So let's have the effect of these drug addiction. How I have talked about these. So prevention of drug addiction, see what are the different steps and how we should prevent our youngsters from being getting addicted to these drugs. So the physician should prescribe the habituating drugs only to the genuine persons, and parents should keep they should have a watch on their children, and they should check them for using drugs as soon as they find signs of addiction in them. Social workers and policemen, if they find a drug abuser, should inform their parents or de-addict them by transferring them to the de-addiction centers. Symptoms may be easily traceable by the people, so we should have a bird's eye watch on the children's activity or youngsters activity. So basically the general symptoms for addiction include undue excitement, irritable or violent nature of the individual, exhausted and drowsy appearance, poor concentration and memory, loss of interest in study, work and social life, reduced appetite, vigor and weight, and disturbed sleep. An addict often looks inattentive and lost. Next is the very basic thing is to de-addict the individual. So what is the meaning of de-addiction? It is the treatment of drug addiction or withdrawal symptoms of drugs, which is basically known as de-addiction. It is done by specially trained physicians over the subject, that is on the individuals who are drug abusers. So what are the withdrawal symptoms? If a drug dependent person fails to get the drug, he feels severe physical or psychological disturbances. These are known as withdrawal symptoms. So severity of the withdrawal symptoms may scare the drug addicts from leaving the drugs, or may force them to restart the use of drugs after leaving once. So however, under proper medical care, the person they may gets rid of these symptoms in few days. So next information about according in connection to this is rehabilitation, that is getting the patient through the withdrawal period with the help of a tranquilizer only for a short term of treatment of drug dependency. A long term treatment requires behavioral training which enables the patient to make different and useful response to the stimuli that led the individual to drug taking. This is called rehabilitation of a drug dependent. It requires psychological and social therapy in the form of counseling by the relatives, friends, and physicians. The counselor should educate the patient about the ill effects of the taking drugs and motivate them for total drug absenteeism in a sympathetic manner. They should persuade the addicts to have the company of the drug free peer group. Counseling should generate behavioral responses in solving the problems and increasing the patient's self esteem. The counselor should not criticize the patient for the past action and should be affectionate and sympathetic to them. The measure taken for the rehabilitation of a drug dependent are basically known as psychosocial therapy. See, most of the drug abusers or drugs, they are creating a social stigma. So use of drugs without physician's prescription and without regard to medical and social ethics leads to social stigma, that is mark of disgrace. So drug dependents are not liked by friends, colleagues, and even relatives. People do not mix with them. The addicts have an unhappy life, deprived their families with respect to the basic necessities, and their kids are likely to be turned antisocial. The drug addicts are less efficient and unreliable as workers or as individuals. They may lose job or may not get employment anywhere, so they may commit crime. So these are the certain social stigmas which are related to the drug abusers. So it's better to have so there is one legal punitive action for this also, the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances, that is NDPS Act 1985. It prescribes for the drug trafficking offences as a minimum punishment for 10 years and a fine of 1 lakh rupees. Repeated offense attacks, that is, it can be punishable up to 20 to 30 years. That is, rigorous imprisonment can be made in this section. A fine of 2 or 3 lakhs rupees. Low, that is, most of the law alone, it cannot tackle the drug problem. So public should raise a strong voice against the drug peddlers or drug abusers. So it's basically the education and the information which we should need to have, so as to secure and avoid ourselves, our family members, and our youngsters from being getting drug addicted. So that's the basic thing which we should keep in our mind. That is how we can get rid of this drug abuse. Thank you, students.